Kerrville, Texas, where officials there are giving an update on the deadly flash floods. Let's take a listen in.
We are working hard to locate anyone who is still missing and to ensure they are safe. There are two ways that you can report the missing people. This is something I would really like y'all to spend some time getting out. One of the ways is via phone. We have a call center set up to accept information and share that information along our relief and incident commanders. That number is 830-285-1111. I'll repeat, 830-285-1111.
It's 258.
Correction. 258. Sorry about that. I'm going to repeat it one more time. 258. Second way is via email. Like the phone number, information received shared along our relief teams. That email is floodrecovery@co.tx.us. Repeating one more time, floodrecovery@co.tx.us. There is a shelter for the general public who needs assistance at the First United Methodist Church, 321 Thompson Drive in Kerrville. 321 Thompson Drive, Kerrville. At present, we don't need material or volunteer donations at this time. We are coordinating with a strong state response currently. To the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country. Once again, donations can be made to the Community Foundation of the Texas. Along have been working tirelessly search and rescue operations until all citizens. This community is strong and will continue to pull together during the humbled by the outpouring of support. We are very appreciative of everyone that's stepped up to help us. One thing I want to tell you and assure y'all is that we will not stop till every single person is found. We've got all the resources we need. We're here for the long haul. As I said, numbers will be changing rapidly, but like I said, we will not stop till everybody. I can't tell you, I've been asked how long will this take. I can't tell you how long it's going to take. It's going to take a while. Appreciate y'all. Like I said, getting the word out. Like I said, after the question, I'm going to introduce you to United States Representative Chip Roy. He's going to say a few words.
Thank you, Sheriff. I'll be brief. I'm here to show support for the community. My family comes here to Kerrville for 4th of July virtually every year. Come here for Robert Earl shows, and we were planning to be here for the show with Robert Earl and Beckman. These are the events that we're dealing with today, and trying to explain to a world that's watching this and asking questions what a flash flood looks like, where you have a 26 to 30 foot rise in the water in a matter of an hour, 4 to 6 a.m. on a holiday, and the people that are having to respond to that. It's got everybody like pause, take a breath for the recriminations and the Monday morning quarterbacking, because there's so many great people in this community that are responding and moving quickly. Lives lost, saving people, like camp directors, and I'm going to let other people name names and stuff. That's not my job here, but we know the stories of people that have been heroic in trying to make sure that the lives lost was at a minimum and trying to recover individuals. I got a call and an update this morning. My kid's school, there was one of their schoolmates was missing, and was one of the kids. She was on a mattress for 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the night, and she's united with her mom, and that's wonderful. And those are the kind of blessings that we should be celebrating, while we're also mourning the loss of life as we identify those that didn't make it and are now home with their Lord. So I just want to appreciate the first responders, the coordinated effort from the state, local, federal partnerships. Yesterday I was on the phone with the president, with the secretary. I expect we'll have some additional visitors today. I'll let other people talk about that, but I couldn't even get the conversation out with the secretary, trying to explain to her what we were dealing with. That doesn't happen often for me, but it took me a while to collect myself to even be able to tell her what we were looking at. And they've been fantastic. made available immediately at the request. I talked to NIM about the need for help with the Army Corps. Talked to the Secretary and their team, and they're immediate. It's been an extraordinary partnership. I think there's been 1,000 or so boots on the ground combined between state, local, and federal. I'll let them say the numbers, but obviously hundreds of people that have been rescued, 160 plus air rescues. I think that number's going up. Airlifting and taking in resources to some of these camps that were isolated. So let's focus on that. Let's focus on finding those who can be found, and then we can always assess what we need to do later going forward. But extremely proud of this community. Let's finish the job here over the next few days, support the local law enforcement and first responders, and pray for the families, particularly those who have lost loved ones. With that, I will turn it over to the mayor. Thanks, Joe.
I'm Mayor Joe Herring Jr., Mayor of Kerrville, Texas. I'm glad you're here, and I have a few comments to make. People need to know today will be a hard day. It will be a hard day. This is the message I want to share. The city of Kerrville is thankful. We have help from our city crews, from county personnel, from state agencies, and federal resources, including the Coast Guard. I have been asked how people can help. The sheriff has mentioned that a fund has been set up by the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country. Information about this can be found on the city's Facebook page. In fact, if you want to know how to help, I know from my phone, from my texts, from my emails, thousands of people across our state and the world want to know how they can help. The easiest way to get information about that is to follow the City of Kerrville Facebook page. City of Kerrville, City Hall Facebook page. They have done an admirable job of making sure all resources and all information is available, not only to the citizens of Kerrville, but to the citizens of the world. I'm thankful you're here. Today will be a hard day. Please pray for our community. Thank you. Next up is City Manager Dalton Rice.
Thank you, Mayor. Dalton Rice, the City Manager for the City of Kerrville. Just wanted to give a couple updates on operations. Operations did continue through the evening. We used specialized equipment with a lot of helicopters, trying to identify any areas that we could find, heat sources or whatever. So operations did continue throughout the night. Obviously, the water did recede into this morning. I do want to encourage folks with road damage, even though a road may be open, please use extreme caution. If water does get under the road, we are seeing a lot of debris, a lot of asphalt that is washing up, so there could be some other damaged areas. We did start boots on the ground operations about 8 a.m. this morning and started about southwest of Hunt, so southwest of Camp Mystic. These folks will be traveling very difficult terrain up through Ingram, and we're going to start getting information. So again, as the sheriff had alluded to, the information is changing constantly, and it's going to be changing by the minute. Talked about roads. Don't do your own searches. We know everybody wants to get help. As the roads start clearing up, you're gonna want to get out there. We are in constant communication with families. We're in constant communication with those around, and so we will continue to effortlessly work through working with our partners. Again, we've been working with Border Patrol, Texas DPS, game wardens, federal side, U.S. Coast Guard is here. We want to thank them. Air assets. Again, we have hundreds of state and federal and local resources out here supporting this community. We do have grief counselors out there, so if there's anybody that needs any support, please don't hesitate to reach out as well. We still are operating shelters. Shelters are the same ones that we gave out before. Good news is a lot of the shelters have gone down in numbers, so there's either been those that have been reunited or kind of moving on. A couple of locations, we had 18 girls in there that have been reunited with their families. We're down to about 4 that we're working on reunification as well. So reunification efforts are continuously ongoing from the missing person side. Here over the next few hours, we're going to be putting more information out there as far as missing persons, on how to contact if you have somebody that is missing or a loved one. Y'all have the camp number right now. We are continuously working on the other missing person side. The best way that I can sum this up is we have the known, which is the 27 potential missing campers that we're looking for now. The unknown is how many people were here locally, visiting, on vacation, doing other things in the community that we just do not have numbers. So these numbers are going to change throughout the day. And with that, we will take 5 questions. The 27 missing is the children from Camp Mystic that we have as far as right now for the number. As far as unknown other missing, we do not have an accurate count, and we don't even want to begin to estimate at this time.
Can you expand on that, Ray? A lot of the community, business owners who are living along the river have said they are very concerned the number will go up of missing, and they want to know more about how you guys are looking for them, what the efforts are, maybe even some of the challenges. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I alluded to with the operations piece, we have basically a team of about 34 folks from Texas Task Force 1, DPS, Game Wardens, and Border Patrol that are boots on the ground on each side of the river, starting in Hunt, and they're starting to make their way up. Across this entire area, it's probably about a 17-kilometer stretch. They are going to be in very debris terrain, very difficult, challenging contours along the riverbanks. So it is a very harsh environment. We are doing what's called a primary search, which is basically a very quick search, but when I say quick, that is up, down, sideways. They're turning over as many rocks as they can, culverts, up in trees. They are looking at every possible location, and then we'll start going into a layered approach, or what we also have from the locals, which has been a really great resource. In the floods that we have, there are known collection points where debris tends to collect along the riverbank. We do have intel on what sites and locations those are, so we can also put additional resources into those collection sites and start getting a more focused approach on that.
We've seen a lot of tragic flooding. We've seen a lot of tragic flooding in central Texas over the past few weeks. There are so many people, I know this is so early, but there are so many people already asking, what can be done to stop the loss of life? We saw 13 in San Antonio. We have seen an unknown number, but at least 27 here. They're scared.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think that's a question that we definitely need to answer at some point in time. Right now, our focus is on the search and rescue efforts, making sure that we get these families out, get some closure, where we can. And so I think that is a great question that we need to ask ourselves. But right now, we want to focus on search and rescue operations.
Are there still rescue efforts going on right now?
Yes, we are. We have been in continuous search and rescue operations. Again, this river, even though it started in West Kerr, this goes all the way down through East Kerr County and is continuing on, to the southeast. So yes, search and rescue operations are continuously ongoing, and we'll continue to update on that. One more question.
Where are you finding these folks right now to active rescue this morning? Are they stuck in an island of land? Where are they?
Typically, rescues, if we do find them, they're going to be in trees, or we find them, either on high ground. Again, most of the rescues that we are having at this point in time are other camps. So we have a lot of camps, and they are all accounted for, but they are isolated because of road damage. So we know where they're at. We're getting them food, water, resources, and now it's a matter of just getting them safely across, low water crossings or other areas to other shelters.
There's so much confusion, though, about these kids. We know that there's missing kids, there's pictures, and there's names and all this stuff. Are you going to give a list of the names of the kids?
Absolutely not. We are not going to give a list of the names. We want to protect, those families and their information. The other thing I want to point out, and thank you for bringing that up, these families are getting bombarded with spam calls and spam information. So we want to keep the kids' information and these families' names out of any public, light, to give them the opportunity to grieve and to make sure that we give them the best possible resources that we can and get them reconnected as soon as possible. So Some of them are, and some of those have been a great help as well. So yes, it is a double-edged sword, but we need to work through it. So our next one will be at 2 o'clock, and we'll give updates then. Thank you.